All right. Now, Monster Hunter Wilds, 88 details, gameplay, background, yada yada yada. Shout out to game for its good quality videos. All right, let's get into it.
Paradise, and if there was a stream that you didn't want to miss out on, then it was the TGS gameplay stream from the dev team, where we got
Dude, that
a
looks so
bunch
good.
of brand new gameplay from the new locale, a bunch of new monster gameplay, and we learnt a ton of new mechanics. So let's not waste your time and jump straight into the major new stuff. Firstly, we have the massive return of Conga Lala, being both revealed and shown with some gameplay against it. Take note that we can also see the smaller versions here too. Now, we did know Conga Lala would likely be in the game from the Dual Blade armor set we saw a while ago, but now it is 100% confirmed. He has his classic breath and fart attacks, and I literally couldn't believe that they even included a small weak point that glows red like a wound right after his backside fart attack. So if you time it well, you could do a focus strike on this point. Throughout the gameplay of Conga Lala, we could see him eat his different types of mushrooms to empower his breath attacks, like eating a poison mushroom to give poison to his breath attacks, and a nitro shroom giving a fiery breath effect with amazing particle effects. There was even this hornet nest that you could interact with to summon a little group of hornets to chase after and aggro the monster. It's like having your own little bee army mid-hunt to help you out. But speaking of newly revealed monsters, something you may have easily missed out on, as it was only showed for a literal second throughout the whole stream, when we got a glimpse of the map of the Scarlet Forest as Tokido was playing to pin the Conga Lala and run towards it, we could actually briefly see here on the map is another monster icon that has yet to be revealed. We're hopeful that this
Good, chilling a bit before my stream. How are you? I'm good. I'm ready to play Sparking Zero again. I've been playing it for the past like 3 days. The new Dragon Ball game. But yeah, what are you about to stream?
is a monster because it has the same name next to it as Conga Lala and the other monsters labeled on the map. It looks to me like a bird monster, and some users over on Reddit have also theorized this. However, this is also the location of the Wud Wud village, so it might just be the icon for their village, but it is weird it has the same name labeled next to it as other monsters. Later on in the stream, you can actually see the menu here for the fast travel between the
Nice, we're gonna play Among Us tonight. Ooh, that sounds fun. Sounds fun. I don't have it installed, but that sounds fun. Gonna kill them all as imposters. Yeah, sounds fun for sure.
The camps, which includes the Wud Wud village, and this icon does look similar, although still a little different, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. In addition to this, during the map screen, there's some notes on the side showing various monster sketches.
You gotta be the imposter.
Uthduna here at the bottom, but there's several other sketches too, giving us hints as to even more monsters. Also, as you may have seen in the gameplay, I want to make a note on performance. We did a massive video yesterday about the PC performance of the game, and today we get to see some PlayStation 5 gameplay. It is confirmed this is PlayStation 5. It looks like they must be playing on performance mode, as it clearly looks much smoother than any other gameplay that we've seen or even played at Gamescom. According to the translation,
you hate being an imposter. But I feel like imposter is like, it's like fun. I don't know. I've never like touched the game. I just have it. Like imposter is like where all the good stuff is at. You could just kill them all and like enjoy it. Go into the events, do shortcuts to the events. But I feel like imposter is only fun once you know the game. It's not really like a beginner friendly type of thing. You know? I just really like playing with everyone. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool too. But I feel like it's scary. You're like, oh, I don't know if the person I'm with is an imposter or not. You know?
Of the commentary, it's actually running around 60 FPS, which it might be on a PlayStation 5 dev kit that has increased RAM and CPU power, but either way the performance is looking super smooth here, which is a good sign for PlayStation 5 players. Now, the open world and seamlessness have been words that we've been hearing for ages now, but we actually finally have a proper demo of someone actually walking from one area to another. In the demo, after fighting the Chemotrese for a little bit, we got to see the hunter go from the Windswood Plains into the Scarlet Forest, using a small path that connects the two areas.
You're not usually buddy up and keep each other safe. Oh, that's cute. That's scary though. What if Bree's like the imposter? You just gotta like run with her, you know? You do a task and she like disappears for a second and comes back really quick. You don't know if she just left to kill somebody or not. You just gotta, you're just there. But I do understand. I do understand. Keep a buddy with you. She would kill me first. I wouldn't. She's done it before. I would. I feel like if I keep like if I always ran with you, I would keep you alive. So I always have a story, you know? I always somebody backing up my story. So it's just like I run with you, you go do a task, and then I don't have a task or I don't have a task there, and I just run away. Boom, vent, kill somebody, vent again, I'm back with you. Done. Easy. I feel like that would be like a smarter thing to do. Hey, that's just me though.
You can see on the map when they're transitioning to the new area that there's a small arrow icon indicating that you will be going into a new locale. So there you have it, seamlessly going from one locale to the next. An interesting thing we need to talk about though regarding rewards and decorations is when we get to see the UI, it will inform you that there will be additional rewards when a monster hops into the locale. If you look at the icons, you can see most of them have a question mark indicating that there will be some RNG involved. This means we are probably going to need to grind out those decorations again, and you can see them in the quest rewards here. So I'm not sure if it is straight up decorations or a crafting material to make things, but there may possibly be that RNG decoration grind again. Another great but impactful tidbit of information that was pointed out on the English stream was that the monster corpses, both small and large, do persist. We've seen this in action before with the hunter being able to climb on top of the corpse to carve or take pictures, but with the game being even more of a simulated ecosystem, we've learned from this stream that these corpses will actually turn into bones if left for long enough that you can then pick up. There is, however, something that will no doubt prove to be controversial to many players in the community, especially those that want Monster Hunter to be more hardcore. It looks like we will have the ability to fast travel even mid-combat. Normally, you would need to disengage from a fight before being able to fast travel back to camp, outside of using items like a Farcaster. But now you seem to be able to fast travel at any time. This inclusion may seem weird at first, but because there are so many monsters on the map, we can understand why they've probably added this in, as the world is very populated and it may be harder to disengage from monsters. But what do you think of this? Do you think they should have kept it like the old system, giving you that incentive to farm out items like a Farcaster? But if you were wondering about being able to change and customize your character after you've already made them, it has now been confirmed that the ticket-based character recustomization system will be returning. Something cool to know is that monsters will also have unique behaviors based on different scenarios. The devs in the stream said that some monsters will adapt their tactics based on things like blood or the hunter being injured nearby. One example of this is these small fishes that will become way more aggressive if they sense your blood. Now, we have kind of seen this before in the past games, but they're expanding on this system even more, and this is further emphasized with certain monsters enraging and having more visible body expansion. Another thing that's great to hear, as it's a big quality of life feature, is that of course you can manually collect items while riding your Sacred, but the translations from the Japanese commentary of the developers mention that you can also automatically gather while on your Sacred too. We actually got to see this in the demo while transitioning between the areas, so that's going to be a very interesting feature,
Okay.
especially for gathering and farming runs. Now, so far,
Yeah,
we
that's
haven't
really
seen
good.
many different sharpness levels, and in the demo, we only got to see green sharpness, but here in the actual stream, we can see blue sharpness for once, and we have to say it's looking pretty nice. There was even a part in the stream where they took their time to look up into the sky, and this is because they said players will be able to experience different events, like meteor showers, which enhance the game's visual atmosphere and are just nice to look at. Additionally, in the gameplay, we got a look at both the base camps of the Windswood Plains, but also the Scarlet Forest. Both look like they have been visually improved over the camps that we had in previous games, and alongside this we can see a ton of icons, such as the camp icon and the smithy icon. We really can't wait to dive in and see everything that's available, and we have already seen the smithy cinematic in the last trailer, which also had some people pretty excited. There's one thing that I have to highlight though, and it was really cool to see, and it's this interaction between your hunter and the palico while you're in the actual camp. You can see the hunter with a little knife and the palico tricking the hunter, thinking that it's been injured by the knife, only to show that it's actually okay. These little touches are one of the things I love about Monster Hunter.
構えるんです。
構えれます。
ですが
どうした？どうした？大丈夫。
大丈夫。
Wait, that's so
One of the
cute.
best new monsters that's been introduced so far is the Chematrice, and we can actually see it in action here. Even though it was only for a short
Oh, the
section
chicken.
of the stream, we do have some gameplay that shows how detailed the monsters will look in the game, and we have to say they look pretty tremendous. Something else that you can observe during this gameplay section is the small monster interactions, and we have seen this before, but now we get a really good look in real time where these small monsters
Shit.
gang up on this
Damn.
Chematrice. Although we don't see it here, we know from the latest trailer that this monster will have some pretty spicy attacks, with it being able to create flames from its tail. A really interesting thing to point out and notice is how Tokida didn't eat a meal before setting out to showcase this demo. Instead, he ate a cooked steak that actually healed his maximum HP as well as stamina, meaning you aren't quite as reliant on actually eating that food at camp or in your portable barbecue, as other consumables such as the steak can now do both. We can also see the new color for the Sacred, and we know that customization for the Sacred is already confirmed through the extras in the deluxe edition, but it's still pretty cool to see a new color scheme here, and makes us wonder
Yeah, I
what
still have to buy this.
collaborations we will get for skins for our Sacred. Perhaps there'll be a Final Fantasy collab and we can ride as a Chocobo, or a Horizon collab to ride as a Watcher or something like that. And another really cool thing we got in this game
Yeah, I wanna ride a
is some
Chocobo.
Lala Barina action. You can really see it has an awesome moveset. It's able to dynamically move around and attack individually with each of its legs. And of course, it has these little paralysis clouds, and if you touch enough of them, you will get fully paralyzed. As paralysis and statuses are building up in Wilds, you can see this icon in the corner fill up until full, in which case the status is active, and then you can actually see the number of seconds until it ends. So this is a cool quality of life feature. And if you
That
don't
is
want
good.
to
I like
get
that. I like that.
paralyzed, you can actually attack or shoot with a ranged weapon on these clouds, which will disperse them and get rid of them. With paralysis being a big focus of Lala Barina's gameplay, it's pretty safe to say that the weapons from the materials of defeating this monster will also be crafted with paralysis on them. And later on, we can actually see some Lala Barina Charge Blade gameplay, and you can see the visual effect of the paralysis, which is looking pretty cool.
Wait.
There was even a Lala Barina versus Deshagama turf war, which ended in the Deshagama getting paralyzed, which is pretty cool to see. The luring pods seem like they're very strong for luring monsters together to trigger turf wars, and remember, turf wars are now dynamic with no set winner, so sometimes you may see different results when doing the same turf war between the same monsters. We also got some Uthduna gameplay, which was very interesting to watch because of these damage numbers being blue and having a shield icon. Now we know that Uthduna has a mechanic where it protects itself with a veil, and it seems like this may shield it from some or a portion of the damage, as seen in those damage numbers. Its moveset kind of reminds me of Zamtrios, with lots of belly flops and sliding around all over the place, and it just looks
That's gonna
amazing
be
and
annoying.
super colourful after the weather changes to the plenty period. Remember, Uthduna comes out during a downpour, which is the weather event of the Scarlet Forest. Something cool to note though is when the weather changes to the plenty period, the monster doesn't retreat, meaning you can still hunt it down after the downpour has ended. Although we can't confirm it, we did read a while ago in some Japanese articles that the inclemencies like the downpour and the sand tide can also appear in other zones once encountered, but we'll need to wait for official confirmation on that.
Interesting.
Furthermore, a fishing example was shown, and it appears to be fairly improved upon and is now more kind of like a minigame. We got to see Tokida catch a giant, voracious tuna, which actually took quite some time to capture. Players will have to wrangle the fishes in and not just do the timed pull. This is going to make for a lot more fun during multiplayer hunts when you all compete with your friends to catch the biggest fish. The world is looking very impressive in Monster Hunter Wilds, and the ecology is a big part of that, where Capcom are putting in extra mechanics and details for both big and small things. During the stream, they actually stopped for a moment to show off some interesting plants that we actually got to see eat a small bird. It's really interesting how they're showing off the bigger focus on ecology and the smaller details of the living world. It's going to be interesting to see how this fully impacts gameplay and if it will impact large monster behavior. At one point though, we got a good walk around in the Woodward camp. Inside it's pretty interesting because there's a vendor icon, meaning you can trade with them. This likely leads to new Palico gear or increases your reputation in them to get new gear. Basically, you need to collect things around the ruins and exchange them for items. They also move around in their camp to the different areas during the different times of day, and at night during the plenty, they may go up to the top of their campsite to cook. This is pretty interesting because it's a whole meal area with a large fire that they will actually dynamically gather and light, and here you can start some kind of feast as suggested by this meat icon. It seems kind of similar to the motley mix that Monster Hunter Rise had. Another thing I have to point out is that we actually got to see them load up the demo, and in this we got to see the sort of save game menu showing 3 different save slots, and although it may just be a preview build thing, it looks very detailed and super pleasant. I'm so happy we got to see what some of the main menu or the save game menu may look like. So what do you think of all of this and these amazing new details that we got shown in this stream?
I'm excited.
Drop a like if you enjoy our rundowns and updates, and make sure you're subscribed for more videos on Monster Hunter and your favorite games coming very...
No, I'm definitely excited, especially for this Lala Burina. Where's it at? No, it's not that far. The Lala Burina, because I'm not going to lie, look at her armor. The armor looks sick. Look at this.
A little knife and the Palico.
Nah, this armor fire. Like, ain't no... Yeah, nah, this is... I'm excited for that fight, mainly. Because it looks like it's a fun fight, one, and it looks like... And you get a nice drip from it. I want to see her longsword, if she gets a longsword.